Okay, so welcome to the first video for properties on beginners. I'm going to cover what's the best strategy for beginners. I'm guessing if you're watching my video, you guys have already researched a few of the aspects what needs to be done for buying a buy to let. I'm based in UK, so the strategy is applicable for most of the places, but the terminologies might be slightly different from UK to depending on which place you are watching. So you might have heard of BRRRR's method. So BRRRR, four R's, B and B fourth, to the power of four. So the first is buy. So it's you're putting in a down payment here in UK to buy a buy to let. You need to put in 25%, and the loan to value is 75%. So you need 25% for a down payment, and maybe another 4.5 to 5% for every other cost. So that's roughly, if we round off to 5%, so you need about 30% of the property value, or extra 5% for the property. So that's the first. The first R is you buy a property where you can add value. So the value could be something simple like changing carpets, changing the colors to a white or magnolia. This is very popular, simple, popular two colors in UK in rental market. You could change the roofing tiles if there is any broken ones. And then another popular thing to look for is older properties have a kitchen and a living space, or the hall is usually two separate. It's covered by a brick wall. So knocking of the wall is a very popular. It adds a lot more value. Adding an extension and getting some basic lawn and putting in some potted plants and all other things is I'm very confident that those are the kind of things you could be doing to improve value to the property. So in my case, we bought a first property. This was about 11 years ago. So we went in slowly, we added value, and then we waited for a couple of years before we remortgaged. So we wanted to make sure that the property had gone up a little more and we have added value to the property. So as an example, if you buy a property for 100,000, let's say you take a loan for 75% or 75,000, and in a year and a half, 2 years, if the property has gone up by, let's say 150 for number's sake, so you get, what is it, 75% is 112,500, and then 75% of that minus 75, so you get about 32,500 pounds. So you get the 32,500 pounds, which could be used for refinancing. So I will cover refinancing and what needs to be done to refinance in coming episodes. So you buy a property which needs some work, you rent it out, and then the rent covers most of the expenses of the property. Depending on if you're a landlord, you want to do hands-on or have a management. So management fees anywhere starts from 7.5% to 12%, depending on where it is. There was time when you used to get for 7%, but I think it's a good estate agent won't do for 7%. And then you need to pay your interest, your tax, your insurance, and other things. So there's very little left from the rent itself. But what you're looking for is the capital's gain, the property going up over a period of time. And also long term, if the loan is about 25 years, you're looking at the depreciation of the loan just by inflation. At the moment in UK, while I'm recording, it's over 7%. So it's a trifecta of why you're buying a rental property. And then also I want to mention, when you're thinking about debt, the cheapest debt you can buy is a mortgage debt. So even with the high interest rate right now, it's still one of the cheapest property or the debt you can buy to invest into other properties. So in my opinion, if there's a bank who's willing to give you, or if you have a 25% down payment, you should take as much debt as possible. I'm not an expert, this is my opinion, as possible. Check the numbers, but you should try to take as much mortgage to reinvest into other properties. You need to be, obviously not be reckless, but give enough time to add more properties. So another thing I want to say is, like, people, especially I've seen a lot of friends and family, they're always thinking about buying one perfect house. I think it's a difficult thing to do. You want to buy a property which is slightly smaller, where you can add value, stay in that property for a couple of years, refinance it, and that property should be used to buy a bigger property. And don't sell the property. So you want to try to retain the old smaller property and then buy another property. And in UK, you want to in if you're in cities like London, bigger cities, obviously you're looking at apartments and other things. But if you're outside the city, I would like to consider only a freehold property where you have more control on the property, and then there's much higher growth on the properties. So hope this was helpful for somebody who's just looking for buying the first property or trying to think about building a buy to let portfolio. I will cover more finance and property related projects in coming videos, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.